Alright. So, welcome to the channel. Alright everybody, welcome to the channel. So this is going to be our first video for the channel. I want to say a couple things. Before we even get started, I want to just mention one thing. If it seems like I'm reading from something during the video, it's because I am. I wrote this out ahead of time because, well, as I said in the earlier video, I've always had a tendency to get sidetracked when I'm talking. So I can start basically telling one story, then another one pops into my head, and before I know it, I've pretty much forgotten what I was going to talk about. I want these videos to come across the way I intend them to, so I decided to write everything down to keep myself on track. I just want to be upfront with you about that and let y'all know about that, because I want this channel to be built on honesty from day one. Now, with that out of the way, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to The Daily Trucker. If this is your first time here, my name is Andrew. And first off, I just want to say thank you for clicking on the video. Whether you're another driver, somebody thinking about getting into the trucking or you just stumbled across this channel because YouTube recommended it to you. I'm really glad you're here. And before we get into today's topic, I want to take a couple minutes and introduce myself. Some of you might remember this channel from the old days. It used to be centered around gaming. We played games like Fortnite, Redline RP, and other games. For those that don't know what Redline is, it's a 5M server based off GTA 5 that's modded pretty much, that almost anyone can play in as long as you got a PC anyway. I had a lot of fun doing that, and I appreciate everyone who watched those videos, but over time, my life has changed. I put gaming on the back seat and let my real life take over. The more miles I drove, the more I realized these stories I was living every day, it was a lot more interesting than the stories I was creating in the video games. So I decided to rebrand the channel as The Daily Trucker. I want this to be a place where we can talk about what life on the road is really like. The good days, the frustrating days, the funny stories, the beautiful sunrises, the storms we drive through, because let's be honest, we deal with a lot of those. We both know that. And sometimes conversations like the ones we're having today. Now, I want to be clear about something. I'm not starting this channel because I think I'm the best truck driver out here. I'm not starting it because I think I've got life all figured out. Actually, it's kind of the opposite. I'm starting it because I'm still learning every single day. And I have a feeling a lot of you are too. One thing I've learned about trucking is that almost every driver has a story. We all come from different backgrounds, we haul different freight, we run different routes. We work for different companies, but there are some things that almost every one of us has in common. One of those is that our job can be really hard on our bodies, and that's what I want to talk about today. Not because I'm a doctor, not because I'm a fitness coach, but because I'm living it myself. And let's be honest, a lot of us are living it, unfortunately. I'm 32 years, wow, my word just slipped out of my mouth all weird. I'm 32 years old, I'm 5'11", and I probably weigh around 264 pounds. Hold on a second. That is not supposed to have commercials, but apparently it does. It's supposed to be a screensaver in the background just so y'all aren't looking at a ugly wall or a black screen on my TV. But yeah, you see what happens. Let's see, where was I? Am I proud of that number? My weight? No, not at all. Let's be honest. Am I embarrassed to tell you? A little bit, but no. Because that's what I weigh, unfortunately, today. If I'm asking this channel to be honest, then I need to be honest too. I don't want this channel to be another place on the internet where somebody pretends everything is perfect, because it's not. Sorry, I got the hiccups today and the burps. I got days where I eat things I know I probably shouldn't. Like today. I had cheese dip and chips. That's what I've had today so far. But it's because I don't really have much on my truck to eat today. I'll get more tomorrow though. I gotta go to the store. I've had days where I'm so tired after shutting down, the last thing I want to do is go for a walk. Sometimes I tell myself I'll start eating better tomorrow. Sometimes tomorrow turns into next week, and before you know it, months have gone by. If you're a truck driver watching this right now, I have a feeling at least some of that sounds familiar. You know, I think one of the biggest misconceptions people have about trucking is that all we do is sit behind the wheel all day. And yeah, we do. Technically, we spend a lot of time sitting. But what most people don't see is everything that comes with it. They don't see the pressure of trying to make an appointment on time while traffic is backed up for miles because of an accident. They don't see the stress of driving through snowstorms, heavy rain, high winds, or construction zones where you barely got enough room to fit the truck through. They don't see what it's like to spend days or sometimes weeks away from your family. And they definitely don't see what it's like to finally shut the truck down after a long day. Completely exhausted knowing you've still got to figure out dinner, take a shower if there's even one available, plan tomorrow's route, and somehow get enough sleep to do it all again. It's mentally exhausting, and when you're mentally exhausted, it's amazing how quickly the little things start slipping. Maybe you planned on taking a walk that evening. Instead, you climb into the sleeper because your body is just done. I don't know why my eyes are always watering, y'all. Do any of y'all have that issue? Maybe you made a healthier meal the night before, but 12 hours later it's gone. You're starving and the only thing that's open is the truck stop. Now you got choices, but they're not always easy ones. That's something I think people outside this industry don't always understand. It's not that truck drivers don't care about their health. Most of us do. It's that this job can make the healthy choice. There goes my words again. I can't even read what I had ChatGPT help me write out from everything I'd already wrote down. That tells you how bad my brain is. It's that this job can make the healthy choice the harder choice. And before anybody misunderstands me, I'm not making excuses. There are drivers out here who stay in great shape. There are women and guys who make time to exercise every day, who plan their meals, who stay disciplined, and genuinely, I respect that. In fact, one of the things I'm hoping this channel becomes is a place where we can learn from people like that, because I don't have all the answers. Like I said, I'm still figuring this out myself. What I do know is that pretending everything is fine isn't helping me. So I figured I'd be honest instead. Maybe that's a little uncomfortable. Maybe putting my weight and my struggles out on the internet isn't the easiest thing I've ever done. But if even one person watches this and thinks, man, I'm dealing with the same thing, then I think it's worth it. At the end of the day, that's really what this channel is about. Real conversations, real trucking, real life. One thing I've noticed about this job is that we're really good at taking care of our equipment. We'll check our tires, we'll watch our air pressure, we'll listen for strange noises, we'll change the oil, we'll stop the moment something does not feel right. Because we know if we ignore a small problem long enough, it can turn into a really expensive one, or even a deadly one. But when it comes to ourselves, a lot of us aren't nearly as careful. We'll ignore sore knees, we'll ignore back pain, we'll ignore being tired all the time. We'll tell ourselves we'll schedule a doctor's appointment next time we're home. We'll say we'll start eating better after this load. We'll say we'll start walking when things slow down. And before we know it, months have turned into years. I know that because I've caught myself saying those exact same things. That's one of the reasons I wanted to make this video. Not because I've already changed my life, but because I think it's time to start changing it. So where do we go from here? Honestly, I don't think the answer is trying to change everything overnight. I've done that before. I'd say starting Monday, I'm cutting out all the junk food. I'm gonna work out every single day. I'm only gonna eat healthy. I'm gonna lose 50 pounds and then about a week later, life gets in the way. You have a long day at a customer because the customer keeps you waiting 3 hours. You get caught in traffic. You can't find parking. You're tired, you're frustrated, and suddenly that plan you were so excited about doesn't seem very realistic anymore. I don't think trucking works well with an all or nothing mindset. I think trucking is a game of small victories. Maybe Maybe today you drink one more bottle of water than you normally would. Maybe instead of sitting in the driver's seat during your 30-minute break, you walk around the truck, stop for 10 minutes. Maybe you stretch your back before climbing back into the cab. Maybe instead of ordering the biggest meal on the menu because you're starving, you order something that's just a little bit smaller. I think sometimes we make being healthy sound so complicated. We don't do anything at all, but really it's tiny steps, one at a time. And here's the thing, you don't have to do it perfectly. If you fall off, you just pick it back up when you can. And it's not just physical, right? It's mental too. Sometimes, give me just a second, I gotta reposition my body. My back's starting to hurt. Speaking of back pain. Sometimes the best thing we can do is slow down, take a breath, call a friend or loved one, or even just close our eyes for a few minutes and actually rest. I want to figure this out right alongside you, not as somebody pointing fingers, but as somebody walking the same road. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, yeah, that sounds like me, just know you're not alone. If another driver, if you're another driver, I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing that you struggle with the most? Sleep, food, stress, exercise? Leave a comment if you feel comfortable. Or just think about it tonight. You know, something I've been thinking about lately is how this job changes the way we think. When you first come into trucking, everything feels new. Your first solo load, your first cross-country trip, the first time you see the Rocky Mountain. There's something exciting about that. Even now, there are still moments where I'll look out the windshield and think, man, I get paid to see this. Not everybody gets to watch thunderstorms roll across open farmland or see sunrises in places they never thought they'd visit. And that part's special. Sorry guys, my throat was starting to get dry. Like I said, this video is going to be pretty much raw. Am I going to be reading a lot of stuff from a phone screen, blah, blah, blah? Yeah. But, you know, that's because I'm not good at staying on track. So I'm going to plan these videos out like I am now. I'm going to write down a bunch of stuff on paper that I want to talk about. I'm going to put it through ChatGPT. By the way, this one here alone, I spent probably 3 hours trying to figure out how to word it. I had probably 20 pages of topics that we could talk about. I had 20 pages of health benefits and things that I could talk about and all that. I told ChatGPT everything that I had wrote down, and I asked ChatGPT, hey, can you help me turn this into something that would get my viewers' attention? And that's what it done. And then, of course, obviously, I had to change a lot of stuff to make it sound right. So, if you don't like the fact that I'm reading from a script that I had ChatGPT help me write, then obviously this place might not be meant for you. I want to write it out to where I can read it and make what I'm saying make sense, instead of me reading it, getting sidetracked and talking about other things, and then it just not making sense. So I just wanted to be out there and be honest with y'all. But yeah, that part about traveling is special, but there's another side to it, isn't there? The lonelier side. Sometimes you're eating dinner by yourself. Sometimes you're celebrating a birthday over the phone instead of at home surrounded by your family. Maybe your kids are growing up and you're watching through photos and video calls. That hurts. And I don't care how tough somebody is being away, or how tough somebody is. Being away from the people you love takes a toll. I think mental health is something our industry doesn't talk about enough. We talk about tires, we talk about fuel prices, transmission, our trucks, but not always what's going on inside our own heads. And for me, I've noticed that when I'm stressed, everything else starts slipping. I don't sleep as well, I don't eat as well, and before long, one bad habit starts turning into 5. Maybe you've experienced that too. That's why I don't think getting healthier starts with a diet. I think it starts with paying attention to yourself. Like honestly, asking, how am I really doing? Not the answer you give somebody at the fuel line, but the real one. Because if we're honest with ourselves, that's usually where change begins. I've started realizing that taking care of ourselves isn't selfish. It's part of being able to take care of the people who depend on you. If you've got a wife waiting at home, if you've got kids who get excited every time your truck pulls into the driveway like I do, they don't just want a paycheck. They want you healthy, present, able to enjoy the time you have together. And that hits me every time I think about it. This job helps provide for the people I love, yes, but I also want to be healthy enough to enjoy the life I'm working so hard to build. That's probably one of the biggest reasons I wanted to make this video. Not because I figured it all out, but because I don't want to wake up 10 years from now wishing I'd started today. So moving on, let's talk some practical stuff. Simple things that don't require a gym membership or hours of free time. Say on your 30-minute break, instead of sitting the entire time, maybe take 10 minutes to walk around the truck stop. Nothing crazy, just movement. That could help your back, your energy, and your headspace. Or keeping a case of water bottles in the truck, so drinking water is the easiest option, not soda or energy drinks. And if you're not up for walking, even stretching your shoulders or your lower back in the cab can give a little bit of relief. And something else, don't underestimate mental rest. Sometimes just sitting there for a few minutes without scrolling your phone is huge. The little things stack up over time, and I'd love to document what that looks like for me on future episodes of The Daily Trucker. Maybe we can compare notes as we go. Like maybe in episode 2, I check back in and say what worked and what didn't. Because again, I'm not here as an expert. I'm here as a driver, trying to make a few better choices, 1 mile at a time. And hey, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, yeah, I'd like to see that too, stick around. This isn't going to be a polished highlight reel, it's real life. The good, the tough, and the in-between. So let's keep learning together. Before we wrap this up, there's one more thing I want to leave you with though today. We talked a lot about physical health, our weight, our sleep, little changes we can start making. But there's another part of our health that deserves just as much attention, our mental health. This job can be lonely. It can be exhausting in ways people outside the industry don't always see. And sometimes that weight feels even heavier than the physical stuff. So in our next video, I want to talk honestly about that. About the pressure drivers face, about loneliness, about why it's okay to talk about it, and why looking out for your mind is just as important as looking out for your body. I'm not coming at it as a psychologist or someone with all the answers, just as another truck driver who thinks these conversations need to happen. So if that matters to you, I hope you'll come back for that video. I'd love to hear your thoughts too. What do you think we don't talk about enough on the road? Leave it in the comments, and if this video connected with you, consider subscribing to The Daily Trucker. Thank you truly. Until the next time, keep the shiny side up, stay safe, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.